All right. I want to call to order the Planning Commission of October 12th, 2017. I want to welcome everyone down. I do want to announce that we probably will lose quorum at about 5:15-ish. And so it takes six of us, six commissioners, to conduct business. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that going into the meeting. And then also I want to make a few exciting announcements. We have two new commissioners tonight, and the first is Devisha Moore as the mayor's representative. So this is her first meeting. So everybody promises they'll be super, super nice. So we welcome you and thank you for representing the city today. Also, I want to welcome one of my favorite councilmen from Southeast Nashville. I shouldn't say that. They're all my favorite councilmen. But Fabian Bedney, thank you for coming today. And it's my understanding you're the new representative for the council. So, and then you'll also chair the planning committee at the council. Is that correct? Well, welcome. I really, really appreciate you coming today. And so we really appreciate you being here as the council representative. So, well, first, item B, which is the adoption of the agenda. As everybody looked through the agenda, we'll need a motion to adopt. There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, and the agenda is adopted. Item C, the approval of the September 28th, 2017 minutes, and these were mailed out earlier. And are there any corrections, additions, edits? We'll need a motion to adopt the minutes. There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the minutes are adopted. Now is the recognition of council members, and the only council member that I saw was Councilman Nick Leonardo. Would you like to speak now or on the case, Councilman? Okay, so when we get to the case, appreciate you coming down. Now we are on items for deferral. Lucy.
Good afternoon. In the interest of time, I'm going to just call out the case number and the staff recommendation for these, if that's all right. Items for deferral or withdrawal this evening, item 1A, 2017 CP-010-002. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. The related case, 1B, 2017 SP-045, Alexander SP. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. Item 3, 2016 SP-098-001. Staff's recommendation is to defer indefinitely. Item 4, 2017 SP-074, Marshall Crossings SP. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. On page 6 of your agenda, item 5, 2017 SP-080. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26, 2017 meeting. Note Commissioner Blackshear is recusing herself from that item. Item 6, 2017 NHL-001. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the November 9th Planning Commission meeting. Item 7, 2017 S-199. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. Item 8, 2017 S-225 Elder Place. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. Number 9 on page 7, 2016 Z-077 PR. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th meeting. Item 10, 2017 Z-037 PR. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. Items 12A and 12B, 2017 CP-012. Staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th. And 2017 SP-090, the related case, again, defer to October 26th. On page 8, item 14, 2017 S-228, staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th meeting. And item 15, 142-66P-004, staff's recommendation is to defer to the October 26th meeting, and Commissioner Blackshear is recusing herself from that item.
Thank you very much. So let's go through this so that all the commissioners know exactly which items are for deferral or withdrawal. So items, and Lucy, make sure I get these correct, okay? Items 1A, 1B, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12A, 12B, 14, and 15. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm also recusing myself from 12A and B.
12A and B. Perfect. Any other discussion? We'll need a motion to defer. There's been a motion. Second? Second. Any other discussion on the deferrals? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it, and those items are deferred. We are on item F, which is the consent agenda.
As information for our audience, if you are not satisfied with a decision by the Planning Commission today, you may appeal the decision by petitioning for a writ of cert with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of entry of the Planning Commission's decision. To ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met, please be advised that you should contact independent legal counsel. Items on consent, notice to the public. Items on consent will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the Commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the Commission requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda. And these are as follows. On page 5 of your report, number 2, 2017 S-182. Falls subdivision, staff's recommendation is to approve with conditions, including a variance to the standards for development in primary conservation land and a variance to the standard for depth of the screened area. On page 7, item 11, 2017 Z-096 PR, a request to rezone from RS5 on Torbett Street. Staff's recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item 16 on page 8, 69-83P. Staff's recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions of the PUD amendment request, and a recommendation of approval with conditions of the variance request. Item 17, 2017 Z-100 PR, staff's recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item 18 on page 9, 2017 Z-101 PR, staff's recommendation is to approve with condition. Item 19, 2017 Z-102 PR, approve with conditions. Item 21, 2017 Z-104 PR, staff's recommendation is to approve. Item 22, staff's recommendation is to approve. Item 23, staff's recommendation is to approve on page 10. Item 24, staff's recommendation is to approve. And item 28, staff's recommendation is to accept the director's report and approve administrative items.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the consent agenda items. Let's go through these slowly so we make sure that these are the correct items for the consent. Item number 2, number 11, number 16, number 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 28. Is that correct, Liz?
Yes.
All right. So we need a motion on the consent agenda? There's been a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The consent agenda is adopted of those particular items. And so that means that we will be considering, I believe, y'all make sure that I'm correct on this, is items number 13 and 20. Is that correct, Bob? And so, Council Lady DeVette Blaylock, I saw you in here. I want to always make sure we recognize the council members, but since you're first on the item, we'll go ahead and do the public hearing. Is that okay with you? And then we'll give you a chance to speak last. Okay, perfect. All right, well, we'll open up the public hearing. The presentation on item 13.
The next item on this evening's agenda is item 13. This is a request to rezone to SB to permit used automobile sales. Staff's recommendation is to disapprove. This aerial image shows the location of the site, which is located at 5200 Nolensville Pike at the southeast corner of April Lane and Nolensville Pike. The site contains a total of 0.82 acres. This site contains two separate zoning districts. On the left-hand portion of the site, divided by the black line, is commercial service, which is intended for retail, consumer service, financial, restaurant, office, self-storage, light manufacturing, and small warehouse uses. On the right-hand portion of the site is currently zoned RS10, which requires a minimum 10,000 square foot lot as intended for single-family dwellings. RS10 would permit a maximum of 1 unit. The policy for the site is T3 Suburban Mixed-Use Corridor and T3 Suburban Neighborhood Maintenance. As you can see, these are also split similar to the zoning for the site. T3 Suburban Mixed-Use Corridor is intended to enhance suburban mixed-use corridors by encouraging a greater mix of higher density residential and mixed-use development along the corridor. T3 Suburban Neighborhood Maintenance is intended to maintain the general character of developed suburban residential neighborhoods. These areas will experience some change over time, primarily when buildings are expanded or replaced, and when this occurs, efforts should be made to maintain the existing character of the neighborhood. The site contains an existing structure surrounded by pavement, which is used for parking automobile inventory. The requested rezoning expands the existing use of the property by expanding additional pavement for parking additional automobile inventory. While the use of the property is consistent with the portion of the property which is currently zoned CS, located within the T3 CM policy area, the expansion into the T3 Suburban Neighborhood Maintenance Policy area is inconsistent with the goals of the neighborhood maintenance policy, as it would introduce a commercial use into a neighborhood maintenance policy. If the rezoning request were approved by Planning Commission, Planning would recommend a C1 landscape buffer to buffer the commercial use with the existing suburban neighborhood. In conclusion, the requested rezoning is inconsistent with the T3 neighborhood maintenance policy, as it would create a commercial intrusion into an existing developed residential single-family neighborhood, and therefore staff recommends disapproval.
Thank you very much. We'll open this item for public hearing. Is the applicant in the room? So, Council Lady, if you can either go now or at the very end, or we can, our normal process. You want to go now? Come on up. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Well, very rarely will you ever see me up here trying to support a car lot, I could say that. But with this particular situation, it is a very small piece of property, and it is also really close to where he has a lot of noise and activity in the buildings. So even if somebody did buy this to build a home, it would probably be for rental, because I wouldn't want to live that close to a car lot myself. And so I understand that if he just levels it and parks cars, there's not going to be any more sound or any, extensive intrusion to the current owner who is here today that I have spoke with, that is okay with having the cars parked there. But one thing that I want to make sure that happens is that we do have that buffer, and that also that there is no buildings allowed whatsoever on this property. So it's just parking of cars, and that's it. So with the neighborhood, that's pretty much what everybody is okay with, as long as the rules are followed, and that we definitely have that in there, that never can be a building on there. So that's why we wanted an SP. And I guess that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Councilor. So the applicant will have 10 minutes. The applicant has 10 minutes to speak. If you would like, you can come up and speak now, and then out of the 10 minutes, we'll reserve 2 minutes for a rebuttal. And then just state your name and your address.
Thank you for the opportunity. I don't have much to say other than I bought this property last year. We've got another car dealership that the lease is coming up. that may not be renewed, and I need the additional space to expand my car business. Right across to the right of the property is a barber shop that aligns with that zoning, that request zoning. And also to the left of it is a church. So it's on the same corridor, as the rest of the businesses out there. It wouldn't need a lot of work done except really to just pave the property. But that's my desire, to be able to, just expand my inventory and move my other location.
Thank you.
I've been in Davidson County for 25 years. Been in business for 15 plus years with my family, and we're taxpayers. We're doing a good job. Just trying to grow the family business.
And state your name
Jager Salmon,
and address for the record.
5200 Nolensville Pike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll reserve 2 minutes for the rebuttal. Anyone wishing to speak in support? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Welcome, sir. You'll have 2 minutes, and just state your name and give us your address for the record.
Joe McCormick, 323 April Lane. I'm 20 feet from my house to this property line that he is talking about. I've lived on this property all my life. Was raised on that corner. It's been residential all these years. And the noise of cars in and out of there, decreasing my property value. I'm not the only one on the street that's opposed this, and I don't know what else I could say or do. I'm not for it at all. 20 feet from my house.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate you coming down.
Appreciate y'all's time.
Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? And then, sir, would you like 2 minutes for rebuttal, or the owner? No? Okay. All right, seeing no one else wishing to speak, we'll close the public hearing. And how about Commissioner Blackshear? You want to go first? Okay.
So this is for staff. So just to touch base with what our job is as a commissioner, if we find that the policy is not consistent with the rezoning request, our job basically prevents us from approving it. Is that right? So in order for us to determine that we are in favor of the rezoning request, we need to find that the policy area, and it's 2 different policy areas, supports the rezoning. I think it's pretty clear that the T3 neighborhood maintenance policy does not encompass commercial uses. I don't think there's any argument against that. So for that reason, I feel like my hands are tied, and I will not be in support of approval.
Commissioner Moore. Councilman? No comments? Commissioner Sims?
I love what Commissioner Blackshear just said, and I think that's absolutely right. I do want to thank the councilwoman for supporting small business. This is a difficult one, so thank you both for caring so much about both the residential neighborhood and small businesses, but our policies are tied, and I think with neighborhood maintenance, it gets to be really pretty. The president, this would said, is not good for our city.
Commissioner Haynes? We'll need a motion.
Move approval of staff recommendation.
Which is a disapproval.
Second.
Is there a second? There is a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the disapproval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Unanimous disapproval. All right, item 20. Well, before we get started, item 20 was pulled from the consent agenda. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to item 20? So, Commissioners, what we can do is put it back on the consent agenda, as it does, the staff's recommendation is to approve. They're seeing no one is here to speak in opposition. That is an option that we have. So, but we obviously will let's discuss that and see if that's what you guys want to do, commissioners want to do. Yeah, absolutely. Commissioner Sims?
Can some of the reason it was pulled be in writing versus somebody here?
Well, yes, we have the form here. Bob, what does it say? Let's see.
They indicated they were in opposition. I don't know if they spoke with anybody about this before they left, but it's my understanding that they're no longer here.
Our professional staff is here to answer that question.
Commissioners, the folks that filled out that comment card, they have left. I spoke with them before they filled out the comment card, then after, as they were walking out, and they spoke that there was just a misunderstanding. They thought it was concerning their property, and they said they were fine with the application, and we're no longer in opposition.
That's very helpful. Thank you, sir. Any other questions? How about a motion to put it, we'll need a motion to put it back on the consent agenda. There's been a motion to put it back on the consent agenda. Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of putting item 20 back on the consent agenda, say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. And that item 20 is back on the consent agenda. So let me make sure. Bob, does that finish all of the cases? But we are now on to historic, and our historic representative is not here, so that parks, our newly appointed parks. Would you like to say anything on the parks?
I would. We have nominated and appointed a new director, Monique Odom. So if y'all would all encourage her when you see her, she's going to do a great job. We're very excited about that. And we are going to be looking forward to the archaeological study, which is due back in December, to take on the Fort Negley discussion.
Thank you for your time and commitment of being on the parks. There's not an executive committee report. We have not conducted any business as the executive committee, but I'm sure that's coming your way. And we have already done the administrative approval. So now, Councilman, any legislative updates you would like to inform us about?
Unfortunately, I don't have anything exciting to tell you.
Just a small soccer stadium coming.
Yeah, that would be, yes.
Okay, there's that. And make sure y'all let Kelly know about the next committee meeting. And you guys did a great job, and I appreciate the new commissioners. This is the fastest, maybe the fastest meeting that we've had in a long time. So I appreciate everyone conducting our business. And seeing no other business, is there a motion to adjourn? We're adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.